Hey guys, Sacred Spear here. Welcome to another episode of Fade Chat, just a casual discussion video where I talk about some of the things going on in Fire Emblem Heroes, and hopefully I can get some of your guys' thoughts on some of these topics. So for this episode, I just want to talk about the new Armads, especially, well, I kind of want to talk about all three different versions of Armads because of our new legendary hero. And then I also want to talk about the accessories and the new favorite system, since I didn't really cover that in the update video. So I'll talk about how I use both of those, what are some of my favorite accessories on units, because they're pretty fun. I don't really have a problem with accessories at all. Last, I just want to talk about Summer Innis, because I did manage to summon one with a plus speed nature, and well, let me just say that he is pretty darn fast, and I'm definitely enjoying how he's playing out. So if you want to skip around, there's timestamps at the bottom, but let's get started. So recently I put out a community post asking what your guys' favorite version of Armads was, because I thought it was, interesting to see what other people thought, and I was going to talk about it in this episode of Fade Chat anyways. Maybe I'll do more of these type of question poll things more in the future. Anyways, it was interesting to see that 13% of people like the original Armads, the OG one with Quick Repose 2, 56% like Berserk Armads, which has special cooldown -1 and Wrath 3 effect, and last 31% like the new Thunder Armads, which grants a flat +3 defense and prevents follow-up attacks, kind of like Warrior Fighter or Murray's Great Flame Dragonstone weapon. It's always interesting to see what people think, because obviously not everyone may have Hector or may have all three different versions of Hector, but regardless, there's definitely different strengths to each version of Armads, and I just want to talk about a little bit about what I think Thunder Armads brings to the table now. So when Valentine's or Level Balance Hector came out a couple months ago, I made a comparison video comparing him with the original Hector, and mainly comparing their two different versions of Armads, because regular Armads only has Quick Repose 2, and this new Berserk Armads has special cooldown -1, as well as the Wrath 3 effect, which is actually very scary. So the main difference was because both of them came with distant counter, and obviously you could just inherit whatever armor skills you wanted onto both of them. It just became a difference of which Armads did you want to use, and regular OG Armads had a new build going for it called the Omnibreaker build, and basically the idea is that by giving Hector Wary Fighter as his B skill and giving him a Quick Repose Sacred Seal, the idea is that Wary Fighter would be cancelled out with one of the Quick Repose effects, which means Hector would then be able to use the other Quick Repose effect or the second Quick Repose effect to get a guaranteed follow-up attack. And this is a pretty scary build, because it would mean the enemy can't make 2 attacks and Hector can still make his classic double Quick Repose hit, which is very, very strong actually if you're attacking into him. Meanwhile, the new Level Balance Hector with Berserk Armads is an insanely scary offensive version of Hector, because with the special cooldown -1, obviously that means faster specials, and then with the Wrath 3 effect, if you knock him below 75% HP, if he does get to activate his own special, he does a ton of extra damage with the +10 flat damage, and even if he still survives into the next player phase with under 75% HP, then he gets another -1 special cooldown, and that can continue as long as he's under 75%. Hector gets so many free special charges that it is pretty scary to face this guy. And this version of Hector, because he has Wrath 3 on his weapon, he could also equip Wrath 3 as a B skill for double Wrath, which is actually a very kind of ridiculous build that just pumps out so much damage if you can get into the under 75% HP threshold. Not super reliable, but it's absolutely amazing to see it in action, because he also gets -2 special cooldown once the player phase starts because of double Wrath effects, and honestly that part is what is pretty interesting to me personally. Now with the new Thunder Armads, the flat +3 defense is nice, but nothing crazy there. However, it's that new second effect, which if the number of allies within 2 spaces, not including Hector, is greater than the number of foes within 2 spaces, not including the target, then the foe cannot make a follow-up attack, and that is very, very easy to activate, because if Hector is baiting in enemies, obviously the foe is going to have to move forward toward Hector, away from their own team, toward Hector's team. It should be super easy to proc this effect, as long as everyone on your team's not dead or something. Because this effect prevents enemy follow-up attacks but not Hector's own follow-up attacks, it's like he has Wary Fighter on his weapon, or a better version of it, which means instead of having to run Wary Fighter in the B slot, he can just run Quick Repose in the B slot, or in the case of the new legendary Hector, he already comes with Vengeful Fighter, which is insanely more powerful than Quick Repose. It's kind of ridiculous, so Hector stops the enemy from making doubles, he can still double, and you don't need to sacrifice your Sacred Seal slot for quick repose. So because I think Thunder Armads is not that hard to activate on its own, I do think it's probably the better weapon to run the Omnibreaker build than the original Armads and regular Hector, which is actually kind of crazy. New Hector also comes with a lot more resistance than original Hector, so that is something to consider, especially since he's always using distant counter, and he can definitely fight mages a little better. Overall, I have to say I definitely enjoy running the Omnibreaker build on original Hector. I think the Berserk Armads is very fun, although I would like to try with Double Wrath, but that is a very expensive investment, and I've only ever had one Wrath user ever, so not happening anytime soon. I'm gonna have to say that Thunder Armads is probably my new favorite version of Armads, just because it can run the Omnibreaker build better. If you guys weren't able to comment or vote on that community poll, let me know what you think in the comments of this video. It's always interesting to see what people have to say. Moving on to the next topic, I never did talk about the hero accessories feature and the new favorite system, so I just want to give you some of my thoughts on both of them and how I use them. So for hero accessories, honestly, I think it's just a fun feature. Doesn't really, mess with like the actual gameplay of the game. It's just a fun little thing, and I look forward to what they add in the future. Here are just some of my favorite combinations. Obviously, Summer Innis with his snorkel looks pretty fun. Nino looks really cute with the new bunny ears or the new bunny hat. I just gave Erica the seashell pin because it kind of matches her hair anyway, so I just thought, why not? I gave regular Ephraim the mysterious mask, and I gave legendary Ephraim the Fae doll because I just think Fae looks pretty hilarious on any unit, honestly. However, the best character to use the accessories on has to be the Black Knight because they look absolutely ridiculous on him. My personal favorite is the Marth mask on his helmet because it just looks crooked. It doesn't look right at all, so it just looks ridiculous. I'm hoping in the future when they do add more things, I hope they do add a Black Knight helmet. If there was a Black Knight helmet, I would just put it on every single unit I had. As for the new favorite system, I think some people had some complaints about it because they were trying to use it to sort their units, and understandably, while you can sort by the different hearts, I don't think that's how it's best used. I think using the different colored hearts is best used for categorizing your units, and this is how I'm personally doing it. So for the first one, the pink heart, I'm just using it for neutral natures. The second orange heart, I'm using it for all my Grand Hero Battle or Tempest Trials units, just so I can keep track of who was who from what. Third, I'm currently not using it all, but maybe in the future I want to use it for something. For the fourth green heart, I'm using it for HP boons. For number 5, I'm using it for attack boons. 6, I'm using it for speed boons. 7, for defense boons. And last, number 8, I'm using it for plus resistance boons. So that's how I'm personally doing it, because mainly sometimes, especially when I'm working on 4-star plus 10 merge projects, there's certain units where I don't have the exact desired nature I want. So with this new system, I can at least keep track of what boon they have. I know it's not the best, maybe I would ideally like to know what Bane each unit had too, but for now, at least knowing what boon is better than nothing, I suppose. Personally, I think the system is okay. Let me know what you guys think about it. I don't think it's a bad addition, but it's definitely only as effective depending on how each person uses it, and that's going to be different for every single one. It's not like there's a best way to use it, obviously. It's just personal preference. So last, I just want to give my first impressions about Summer Innis because I was able to get 2 of them actually. One of them had a minus speed nature, so I tried to get another one, and the second one luckily had a plus speed minus defense nature, which I'm pretty happy with. Overall, I have to say, this dude is definitely pretty impressive just off of stats alone. 40 base speed with a plus speed nature is pretty insane considering a lot of the axe flyers are not that fast. With 33 base neutral attack, that's pretty fine in my opinion. Obviously there's some of those other axe flyers like Michaelis who have 38 attack I think, or somewhere around the high 30s, but those units are generally pretty slow, so I'm definitely fine with 33 attack and 37 base speed. Again, as I said in my banner video, this version of Innis is going to be an amazing user of a Fire Sweep Axe if it ever appears, and would definitely be the best Fire Sweep Axe flying unit we have. There is not a lot of competition for high attack and high speed units in the group, so I think in the long term I'm going to be using this Summer Innis a lot more. Or at the moment, I just gave him a plus defense refined beach banner just because I had minus defense, so I just wanted to bring it up a little. I could go with plus speed as well, which I think would be absolutely fine. As for the beach banner weapon, or the summer weapons in general, plus 2 to all stats when initiating, I think it's okay. It's not bad by any means, but I definitely do think like a slaying weapon would be maybe a little more powerful for an offensive attacker because faster specials. I don't think plus 2 to every stat is bad, but I do think you would get the most value out of that by pairing these type of weapons with a dual type blow skill. So something like Swift Sparrow, which would then put you at plus 6 attack, plus 6 speed. That's like having death blow and darting blow at the same time, which is pretty darn impressive. In my video I said sturdy blow would be a decent idea because that would be like death blow and then armored blow, plus 6 attack, plus 6 defense. I don't think that's that bad at all. I think the summer weapons this time are a solid okay. They're not like outstanding amazing, but they definitely, I personally think they're just as good if not better than last year's summer weapons. I'm still trying to get a summer Tana because I really want another flying mage user, and she is pretty darn fast. Hopefully I can get her. The banner is going to be here for another month. I just hope the second summer banner doesn't have more Sacred Stones units, or I'm in big trouble. So that's going to be it for this episode of Fate Chat. Again, in the comments, and let me know what you guys think about any of these topics in this video. What do you think about the new Legendary Hector, as well as Thunder Armads? What's your favorite hero accessory combo so far? Personally, mine definitely has to be the Black Knight and Mass Marth combo. Also, give me your thoughts about the new favoriting system. Maybe let everyone know how you use it personally, because I'm sure it's going to be different for every single player. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.